Good evening, I'm Haylee Ficuciello. Tonight, a sweeping look at major federal crime cases across the western United States. From financial fraud targeting hardworking Americans to violent crimes that shook entire communities, to a major federal indictment involving drugs, firearms, and international criminal networks. This is Federal Crime Report. In Washington state, a Belleville taxpayer has been convicted in a scheme that targeted trust and exploited it. 65-year-old Trevon Malvin, owner of Mono Accounting Services, was found guilty on 3 federal counts of preparing false tax returns following an 8-day trial. Prosecutors say Malvin fabricated deductions, including fake businesses, false charitable contributions, and inflated investment losses, to reduce tax liability for their clients. His business largely catered to tech workers, many originally from India, who's testified the trust in him filed accurate returns. Federal prosecutors made it clear to the jury these were not mistakes. They were, quote, complete inventions. Malvin now faces sentencing on July 15th. Meanwhile, a year-long investigation into 2 brutal murders has reached a conclusion. The case of Rosanda Strong and Jeremiah Alicia Morano, both last seen in 2018 on Yakima National Reserve, has resulted in the sentencing of 7 defendants involved. Investigators uncovered a disturbing chain of violence. Morano murdered Rosanda Strong. Strong's body was hidden in a freezer and later dumped. Days later, Morano herself was executed in a reality killing despite limited physical evidence. The FBI and Yakima National Police conducted hundreds of investigations, executed search warrants nationwide, and ultimately connected the cases. Sentencing handed down include 292 months for kidnapping resulting in death, 100 months for accessory roles, additional prison terms ranging from 26 to 87 months for family members, including Rosanda Strong's sister, were present for nearly every hearing, ensuring that the victims were never forgotten. In Portland, Oregon, federal agents uncovered what prosecutors described as a dangerous combination: drugs, weapons, and tactical gear. 50-year-old Aaron Gabbert now faces federal charges after investigators seized 34 firearms, many loaded, approximately 1 pound of cocaine, and over $11,000 in cash, a 3D printer suppressor, and a suspected destructive device. Authorities say weapons and drugs were stored together, heightening the risk of violent criminal activity. Gabbert has made his initial appearance in court. The case remains ongoing. In a separate case, a Colombian national has pled guilty in a sophisticated, multi-state burglary operation. 45-year-old Juan Alexander Quanto and 6 co-conspirators targeted Asian American business owners across Oregon and Washington. Using signal jammers, coordinated communication, and surveillance tactics, the group executed a string of break-ins across multiple cities in October of 2025. They stole cash, jewelry, designer goods, and travel documents. Federal investigators later recovered stolen property, burner phones, and evidence of international money transfers. Quantrill faces up to 5 years in prison at sentencing this June. In Idaho, a Marion man has been admitted to bribery in a scheme to bypass commercial driving requirements. 29-year-old Ryan Bosnaugh offered $500 to a CDL examiner attempting to obtain a passing score without taking the test. The program involved receiving federal funding, evaluating the crime to a federal offense. He now faces up to 10 years in prison. And in a major financial crime case, an Arkansas man has been pled guilty in an insider trading. Douglas Dalton used confidential information from a corporate executive to purchase stock options ahead of a company acquisition. His illegal trading turned $19,000 investment into more than $96,000, nearly 500% return. He now faces up to 20 years in federal prison. In San Diego, California, a would-be sex trafficker has been sentenced to nearly 2 decades in federal prison. Stephen Terrell Lewis received 19 and a half years for targeting a 14-year-old girl and attempting to traffic a young adult woman. Prosecutors say Lewis used manipulation, threats, and coercion, targeting vulnerable individuals, including those experiencing homelessness. Victims' impacted statements describe the trauma as immeasurable. Federal authorities have also unsealed sweeping indictments in an international cryptocurrency fraud scheme. 10 foreign nationals, including executives, are accused of manipulating crypto marketing through wash trading to artificially inflate prices. The operation allegedly defrauded investors worldwide before profits were cashed out. 3 suspects have already been extradited to the United States. More than $1 million in cryptocurrency has been seized. In San Jose, a man has pled guilty to violently assaulting a U.S. Postal Service letter carrier during a robbery. The victim was punched repeatedly and left injured while the suspect attempted to steal the mail. The defendant now faces 25 years in prison. In Nevada, a Sparks man has been sentenced to 23 years in federal prison for sexually abusing multiple children over 2 decades. The crimes occurred within Indian County and involved 6 victims, including 4 Native American children. Federal officials say the sentence ensures that the defendant is no longer a threat to the community. A separate case in Las Vegas involves a man accused of attempting to orchestrate the live stream abuse of children. If convicted, he faces up to 30 years in prison. In Arizona, federal prosecutors charged 256 individuals in just 1 week in immigration-related offenses. These include illegally re-entering, illegally entering, and a human smuggling operation. In one of those cases, 16 migrants were discovered packed in a pickup truck. In another, 2 individuals were found locked in a vehicle in extreme heat, one initially without detectable pulse. Authorities say these cases highlight the deadly risk associated with human smuggling operations. And in New Mexico, a man has been sentenced to more than 8 years in federal prison for a violent armed assault. James Smiley Jr. entered a residence threatening multiple individuals with a firearm and discharging the weapon. There is no parole in the federal system. From financial crimes to violent offenses, federal authorities across the western United States continue to pursue complex cases that span communities, borders, and industries. These cases serve as a reminder. Federal crimes carry serious consequences, and justice, while sometimes delayed, is relentless. I'm Haylee Ficuciello for Englebrook Independent News. This has been your Federal Crime Report. Stay informed, stay aware. Good night.